and welcome to Did You Know? Alright, on this episode, I will be sharing 16 places that you never thought about. That you could visit for vacation, for relaxation, for anything. Probably just want to see things. Maybe you have like this extra money. You're not doing anything with it and you just want to go somewhere and see something beautiful. So I will be sharing 16 places that you've probably never thought about, or places you should actually add to your bucket list. So join me on this ride as we count 16. Alright, so at number 1 we have Cape Town, South Africa. Now, one of the most beloved destinations on the continent, Cape Town sits at the southern tip of South Africa, near where the Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean meet at the Cape of Good Hope. It is a culturally rich and visually stunning city that is very easy to fall in love with on a first sight. Now, the Table Mountain rises from the center of the city, while the striking 12 Apostle Rock formations beyond provide the backdrop for gorgeous white sand beaches like Clifton and Camp Bay along its Atlantic Ocean coastline. There is so much to love, there's so much to see and do in Cape Town. There are active adventures like hiking to the top of Lion's Head to watch the sunrise, and important historic places to visit like taking a somber trip to Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was a political prisoner for 27 years before the apartheid regime fell. The city is also home to a plethora of museums, galleries, local boutiques, and world-class restaurants and hotels. You want to spend some time exploring Victoria Alfred waterfront as well as the downtown around Long Street and Green Market Square. Alright, so at number 2 is go back in time to Zanzibar, Tanzania. A visit to Zanzibar feels like stepping into another world, where time stands still and the only city, Stone Town, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This island in the Indian Ocean just off the coast of Tanzania is a place where Arab dolls fishing boats supply the picture perfect turquoise sea. You can get lost in the beauty of Stone Town, wandering its narrow alleys past old mosques, vibrant bazaars and riads with intricately carved doorways. Now, Nungwi at the northern tip of the island is a favorite beach destination. There are a number of hotels and guest houses there, including the Hotel Zanzibar. The chic beachfront boutique hotel is set in a beautiful tropical garden. Another place at number 3 is the Pyramids of Giza, that is Egypt. Watching the sun rise or set over the pyramids of Giza from the back of a camel is an experience you will never forget. The pyramids and the Great Sphinx date back to the 26th century BCE and are Egypt's most iconic attractions. Now guess what? Another time we will talk about Egypt's most iconic attraction. But moving on, the Pyramid of Giza are easy to access from Egypt's capital and largest city, Cairo, which is equally fascinating to visit. Set on the banks of the Nile River, Cairo is a chaotic and busy place that appears to never slow down, even in the dead of night. Here, ancient history meets a modern metropolis. A visit to Cairo? Don't forget the Egyptian Museum. Let's move on to number 4. Experience Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. Now, Victoria Falls during this rainy season when the water volume is high, you will understand why locals call this impressive waterfall the smoke that thunders. The sound of water rushing over rock before dropping into a pool some 300 plus feet below the sounds like the roll of thunder, and the mist that spews back up resembles thick smoke. It is an impressive sight. For the best views of the fall in full, you will want to explore the Zimbabwe side, where you can follow a walking trail to various viewpoints. On the Zambia side, you can get very close to the falls themselves. If you're brave enough, even take a dip in Devil's Pool, which literally sits at the top of the falls before they tumble down, down, down. Both sides have lodging options as well as restaurants. Moving on to number 5, Wander the Souks in Marrakesh, Morocco. Beautiful Marrakesh, Morocco makes for the perfect introduction to this fascinating North African country, which can actually be accessed via an overnight ferry from southern Spain. Marrakech is located in western Morocco and is the country's 4th largest city and home. The world Medina here dates back to the Berber Empire. Spend a day sightseeing, wandering its maze-like street filled with souks, selling everything from spices to jewelries to brightly colored traditional clothing and slippers. Let's move on to number 6. Go gorilla trekking in Rwanda. Trekking to see endangered mountain gorillas in their natural habitat is on the bucket list for many animal lovers. So if you are, take advantage of this. Rwanda's Virunga Mountains are home to more than half Africa. Namibia is one-of-a-kind destination that is often overlooked when planning trips to the continent. It shouldn't be. Absolutely. This country is chock full of adventures and landscapes you won't find anywhere else on the continent, including the Namib Desert. Part of Namib National Park, the Sosovli is a giant flat salt pan surrounded by a sea of red and orange sand that has been sculpted into an otherworld landscape of towering dunes and desolate valleys sprinkled with petrified dead trees. Well, other major attractions in Namibia include the Skeleton Coast, named from the skeletons of wrecked ships that crashed along the misty Atlantic coastline here, and a Tosa National Park. At number 8 is Sahara in Tunisia. Now, facing towards Europe's Mediterranean coastline, Tunisia is Africa's most northerly country. It's gorgeous, sun-soaked destination where European and Arab influences blend together. Home to a beautiful stretch of beaches on the Mediterranean Sea, Tunisia is a popular vacation destination for Europeans seeking some winter sun. The island Djerba is a perfect spot to indulge. The town of Daouz serves as the adventure hub for the sea, and from here you can book all the amazing excursions you want. Now let's move on to number 9, the Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. With an elevation of 19,341 feet, Tanzania's Mount Kilimanjaro, KIL for short, is Africa's highest mountain and also holds the world record for the highest single freestanding mountains. It isn't part of a range. Rising from the plains of the Serengeti, it is a dormant volcano and creates a stunning backdrop for wildlife safaris in the region. You also won't face the extreme weather challenges of climbing other continents. Highest peaks like the Everest, you will need to be in good shape and adjust to the altitude. The trek to the top takes a minimum of 6 days and you will need to go on a guided excursion. Don't go alone. And number 10 is the Kruger National Park back in South Africa. Now, South Africa's Kruger National Park is one of Africa's oldest conservation areas and a top safari destination on the continent. This vast park, which actually extends into Mozambique to the east, is home to South Africa's most diverse wildlife population. It is also surrounded by upscale private reserves like Sabi Sands Game Reserve, which animals can cross into and out at will. Kruger is also a safari destination within for many different budgets. So you see, you are on a budget, you should be there. And number 11, now the Great Migration in Masai Mara, Kenya. You thought I would mention Kenya, right? Every year, millions of wild bees and other hooved animals like zebra, gazelles migrate between Tanzania, Serengeti, and the Masai Mara in Kenya in what has become known as the Great Migration. The most dangerous part of this journey is crossing the Mara River, where many of the grazing animals get picked off by hungry lions and other predators. The crossing usually happens between July and August, but the timing can change with the year. Watching the Great Migration in real time is a dream for many wildlife enthusiasts who plan safaris to this part of Kenya to coincide with it. At number 12, we are going back to Tanzania to check out the Ngorongoro crater on safari. Tanzania. Now, created about 2.5 million years ago, the Ngorongoro crater is the largest inactive, unfilled, and unbroken volcanic caldera on the planet, considered one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Victoria Falls is another. It is home to thousands of animals and is top safari destination in Tanzania. It is also on one end of the Great Migration route. And during this time of the year, massive herds of wild bees, zebras, and other grazing animals can be seen here. Well, guest stays at lodges perched on the edge of the crater's rim and then descend down for day-long wildlife drives. All of the big 5 African animals, that is the lion, the leopard, the rhino, the elephant, and Cape buffalo, can be seen down here. But one species you won't see on the crater floor are rats. This is because they find the rocky descent too difficult and there are few trees. This lack of trees also makes it very easy to spot wildlife while on safari, including the big cats. At number 13, take a beach vacation to the Bazaruto archipelago in Mozambique. Off the Mozambican coastline is the Indian Ocean. The Bazaruto Archipelago Marine Park is home to a group of islands with some of the more beautiful beaches in Africa. Bazaruto Island is the main destination and offers a range of accommodations and budget-friendly luxury. But there are also deserted islands and others that are home to just one hotel or 2, if you're ever considering it. Besides brilliant white sand beaches backed by coconut trees and sand dunes, these islands are also famous for their excellent diving and snorkeling opportunities. There is a thriving coral reef system protected by the park, and the turquoise water is warm and clear. Okay, at number 14, let's go to the Traverse the Okavango Delta in Botswana. Botswana in Southern Africa is another legendary safari destination. The Moremi Game Reserve covers a large section of the Okavango Delta, and it's where many upscale safari lodges are located. Moan is the gateway town to the Delta, and this is a good place to organize more budget-focused canoe and land safari. So if you're ever considering Botswana, this is the place. And number 15, the beauty of Lake Malawi. Spanning 3 countries, Malawi, Mozambique, and Tanzania, Lake Malawi is the 3rd largest lake on the African continent at 29,600 square kilometers. It's part of the African lake system, and its age is estimated at about 1 or 2 million years. The majority of tourists visit the Malawi side of the lake, which is called Lake Nyasa in Tanzania and Lago Nyasa in Mozambique. One interesting fact about Lake Malawi is that it is home to more kinds of fish than any other lake on earth. Needless to say, fishing is it's very popular here. You can also swim and snorkel in the warm, clear water, but you will want to take a short course of a fast-acting antibiotic after doing so to protect yourself from the bilharzia, which is found here. And the last, which is Watamu on Kenya's Swahili coast. Now, Watamu is the perfect town for a beach vacation. The Indian Ocean here is stunning. Think turquoise, aquamarine, and emerald hues, from sugar white sand beaches and underwater world to explore. Unlike beaches in South Africa, the water here stays warm enough to swim comfortably all year. The sunsets are also stellar here, especially when witnessed from the deck. Watamu is a small village and lodging is spread out over a number of miles on the coastline. It's easy to get between places by Bodu Bodu, a local motorbike taxi. That is quite affordable. Alright, so those are the 16 beautiful places, destinations you want to try out within Africa. Africa is beautiful. We have lots of beautiful places, so you don't always want to go to European countries. Try Africa. See you in our next episode.